Hi, I'm Larry R. Miller, and I'd like to share with you some of the things that I found out about rubber roofs on RVs and EPDM coatings. I've been a freelance writer since 1982, and I've written on health and travel and venture travel, and I write a weekly newspaper column, and I've written for magazines and for the internet. And during that time, I needed to do a lot of research to find out what was really the good from the bad and the hype from the health giving and that type of thing. And when I decided to do the rubber roof on our motorhome, I used those same basic skills to ferret out the good stuff from the bad. I talked to people in the RV repair business. I searched the internet, and I kept coming back to EPDM coatings because they seemed to make the most sense. I ordered some samples, some chips from some other people. When I got them, they weren't flexible. They were hard and brittle. And if I'd have put that on the rubber roof, it needs to flex as you go down the road. It would have split and peeled. Now that type of thing may be fine for the metal roof on your chicken coop, for instance, but it's not going to work on a rubber roof on an RV. And EPDM coatings is so it's compatible chemically with the roof that's on the motorhome. So after I made my decision, I measured the square footage on the motorhome roof, and then I looked at the chart on EPDM Coatings website, and I came up with 6 gallons is what I'd need to do the job. Well, that was perfect, because that'd give me 1 gallon to find out whether it was going to work the way I thought it would and the way I wanted it to, and if it did, then I could go ahead and get the other 5. Am I happy with the product? Yes, I am happy. And we'll look at the finished product in a moment, but first let's jump back in time and jump into some old clothes and do the preparation, put that 1 gallon on, look and see what it looks like. I can peel quite a bit of this off without the wire brush, but it's really difficult to try to do it from up above because the angle, and it's like I'm not interested in taking a nosedive off the top of this. So I'm going to peel this off as much as I can. And then I'm going to get the wire brush, which is laying up here on the top, and go over this. And I got a little bit of a breeze out here today too, so I'm kind of in a tippy situation here. So you can see where it's peeling it off with the wire brush, and I couldn't do that with my hand. But I'm going to shut this off and then here and work on this for a little bit with my right hand, so I can hold on to the camera. Hold on to the ladder with my left hand and not have the breeze puff up here and decide to put me on the ground. After working with the wire brush for a little bit, I also found that to scrape this off, this has a couple of different applications of stuff put on it. This knife seems to work really good. It works quicker than the wire brush. And let me zoom in just a little bit and see if I can reach that spot over there. But by taking the knife and going over it, I can peel off big pieces of it. And then I'll go back over this with the wire brush to make sure all of these little bits and pieces are off of here. And again, the wind's kind of gusting up just a little bit. And so I think probably what I'm going to do is shut this off. But you can get a pretty good idea. Just scrape it off, and then once you get the big pieces off, finish it off the wire brush, because you're going to need something to where the EPDM coating can get a good grip on it, because you don't want to have this kind of stuff happen again in the future. I mean, what's the sense? Do a good preparation so that you don't have to go back and do it all over again. If you prepare it correctly and get all the old stuff, the loose stuff off, you won't have to do it again. I'll have to go around and do this, but this is it's hard to see it in the video, but it's taken that clear sealer off pretty well and roughen up the surface enough to where the EPDM coating can get a good foothold here. Now we'll go up and take a look around the air conditioner. You can see all the stuff that's coming off there. up there by the end of the wire brush. It doesn't look like much of if any sealer was put around the vents, but there's sure a lot of gunky stuff around here. It all needs to come off so that we don't have a leak around the vent sometime in the future. I'll go over that same thing with the wire brush. It seems to work real good on this black, whatever it is. I'm not sure if it's just dirt that doesn't exactly look like it, but probably a mixture of a bunch of different things over the years. After I'm done with this part of the preparation, I'll wash it off and let it dry real good before I put any of the EPDM coating on. I'm doing this at home, so I don't really have access to a power washer, but I'm going to have to get underneath here, probably with some kind of a scrub brush, and get all of this, whatever it is, dirt, looks like some more sealer of some kind here. All of it has to be cleaned off so that we get a good job, because again, no sense in going back and doing it again. I lived on a sailboat for off and on for about 15 years, and I found that oiling the wood was a lot easier than varnishing it, because the varnish would come loose, and when it did, it was a much bigger job to take the varnish off than it was to put the varnish on. It's a whole lot easier than trying to get under there with the covers on. And just 4 screws on the air conditioner and 4 nuts on the vents. So take them off, get good access to everything so you can get a really good clean job. This is a good learning experience. On that clear sealer that was on there, the silicone or whatever, you can see the pieces that I had peeled off. They stuck real good to this back part back here that has paint on it, but over here it just came up. I mean, I had to get it off, because if I didn't and put something else over the top, then that would just come off too. On the air conditioner, the easiest way I found to do this was just to reach up underneath the edge with the knife and scrape it off, because I tried to put the wire brush up under there and it would get stuck in here. Didn't do a real good job because all the bristles were faced away instead of down, so I just ended up scraping it off with the knife, and that worked really good. On the around the vents, I ended up taking all the hardware off of both vents and then just wire brushing around them. That worked real well. I think you're just going to have to follow the directions on this one, because I can't hold on to the can and the cordless drill and pour the stuff in and everything without getting it all over my camera. So I'm just going to mix her up. It says make it into a vortex, which it does, and I made my own mixer out of an old piece of TV antenna. But you could use anything if you have access to the original ones that have the little paddles on the end. Is probably the best. This will work. When I put it in the cordless drill and cranked her up, it made a nice vortex, and then I'm going to pour the liquid in, and then we'll go put her on. Spread it out, otherwise it'd be really, really thick. Now you can see it's also self-leveling, and I think you can probably see the gloss off of it. I just put it on with a brush, and now you can't see any brush marks at all in it now. They just flatten themselves right out, self-leveling, so that it won't leave a low spot and then water puddle up. I've used about 1/3 of a gallon, and I've done all of this rail, all of the vents. It's coming out really nice too. Boy, after you put it on, and then it just levels itself out and comes really nice and shiny. Did all of that rail there, all the way up to the front. Did that. Well, here we are at the end of day 1, and I'm happy with what's going on. Stuff is going on real good, nice and smooth, and it smooths out, makes a really nice finish. And with the first gallon, I did all of these vents and all of the drip rails, and got back to that. So I think you can see the line in front of the air conditioner up there. Even got the air conditioner covers back on, and tomorrow I hope to put these vent covers back on, because it's supposed to rain tomorrow afternoon or evening and the next day. So if I can get the covers back on the vents, then we can open them if it gets a little warm. But it came out real nice. I'm really happy.